Hi everyone, Kaleigh Krish here, coming to you live from my set. That is right. Look, first off, I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us on the premiere night of Titan TV. I really hope that you all have enjoyed all of the content you've seen, but do not go anywhere because we still have some amazing creators coming up, including myself. That's right, you are about to watch my show, Who Wore It Best? Jersey Royale. Each week, we will take a look at some of the greatest players to ever wear a particular number. And at the end of the show, I will pick who I think wore it best. You'll get stats, fun facts, career highlights, all of the above. It is going to be a really fun time, and I am so ready to share it with you. But first, I thought that I would share a little bit more about myself. First, I have loved sports my entire life. And lucky for me, I have gotten to see some of the greatest players to ever play the game. I mean, gunslinging Brett Favre, the actual GOAT Michael Jordan, Barry Bonds, Jenny Finch, Mia Hamm, Tom Brady, the list goes on and on and on. So we are gonna have plenty to cover in this show. Now, why am I so interested in taking this little journey with you? Well, I started my sports career covering baseball at Cal State Fullerton, where I attended, Go Titans, and I loved being able to watch the game, keep up with the stats, an individual's career highlights, and then be able to talk to them on the field after the game about everything that we had just seen. It was incredible. After college, I took a job with the San Jose Sharks, and I worked my way up from being a graphics operator to the in-game host of their minor league team, the Barracuda. For some of the best fans to ever be in an arena. They were amazing. And that was some of the most fun times I've had. Prior to the game, I would give season recaps and game previews, and then interview players and coaches during intermission. At the same time, I was also covering football from the sidelines of Stanford, where I was lucky enough to cover Christian McCaffrey's college career, to Cal and the Jared Goff era, to the Rose Bowl when Stanford defeated Iowa. I've covered the Georgia Bulldogs, self-proclaimed national champs UCF, the flashy Miami U, the list goes on and on. So why did I want to create this show? Out of all of the years I have been covering sports, seeing all of these incredible athletes across generations got me thinking, who wore it best? And because the numbers become the identity of a player, I mean, 23 is synonymous with MJ. 42, Jackie Robinson, 12, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. And that, case in point right there, who wore it best? Look, sometimes you may not agree with me. Sometimes I might leave some of the great players off of the list, but either way, we're gonna have a really good time. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the very first episode of Who Wore It Best? Jersey Royale. Hello, what up everyone? Welcome to Who Wore It Best? Jersey Royale. I am your host, Kaleigh Krish. Thanks so much for joining me on our first episode here on Titan TV. So, what is this show all about anyway? Well, I'm so glad that you asked. Each week, I will pick a number at random, well, or not. Maybe just a number I want to talk about because it's my show and I can do that if I want. But anyway, we'll pick a number somehow, and then we take a look at the best athletes in all of sports to don that very number. Yes, that means football, baseball, hockey, basketball, even soccer players, hell, volleyball. Let's throw some softball ladies in there as well, people. I don't care who it is. I just want to see the best of the best, all right? We're gonna go through the top 3 players, take a look at their stats, their career, dig deep on some fun facts about them too. We need it all to make this decision of the greatest number of all time, right? So, while we're strolling down memory lane, when we are done, I will decide who wore that number best. And then the others are just really afterthoughts at that point, okay? All right, let's get into it. This week, we are looking at number 4. Number 4? You say? Yes, why not? I mean, look, there's something that you guys need to know about me before we start this relationship here. All right, I am a diehard Packers fan. And yes, this season blows. And yes, I'm dying a little bit inside every single day about it. But that's neither here nor there. But what a better way to kick off my show than by getting to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, the greatest QB of my heart, Brett Favre. All right. We will get to that in just a minute. But first, we're going to start off our inaugural show, our Jersey Royale with the NHL, with number 4, Bobby Orr. Bobby Orr is one of the greatest defensemen of all time. He actually changed the way his position was played. Prior to him joining the Bruins in 1966, it wasn't that typical for defensemen to score. This guy would change all that. In his rookie season, he skated up and down the ice, circles around guys, and he was awarded the Calder Memorial Trophy to honor the best rookie of the year. 2 seasons later, Bobby would lead his team to the Stanley Cup Finals, where the Bruins would sweep the St. Louis Blues or would score the winning cup goal that gave us this little beauty right here. Yep, that's called the flight. And, of course, he was named MVP. Now, side note, that picture, you guys, no helmets. Do you see that? He was a defenseman flying across the ice, for Christ's sakes. No helmets. I'm telling you, hockey is nuts. Anyway, the next season was one for the books as well. Orr would score 37 goals and 102 assists and hold the highest plus-minus in a single season, a record that is still unbroken today. That's pretty cool. I mean, that's what you want to see when you're talking about the best of the best, right? Now, Orr would take his Bruins back to the Stanley Cup in 1972, defeating the New York Rangers in 7 games. He would again score the winning series goal and be awarded the Conn Smythe Trophy for the 2nd time, something no other player had done. Now, Bobby would retire at the end of the 1978 season due to nagging knee injuries, but here's the cool part. Instead of waiting the mandatory 3 years after retirement to be entered into the NHL Hall of Fame, Orr was inducted that very same year, making him the youngest player to do so. That's pretty awesome. Okay, folks, that is the first on our list of 3, and I gotta say, this is a career worthy of being the number 4. But we have another one to get to. Now it's time to talk about the next greatest number 4, and that is Brett Favre. Brett was drafted 33rd to the Atlanta Falcons in 1991. And side note, for my guy Al from Throne Breaks, that's the show just before mine. If you guys didn't check it out, what's wrong with you? You're missing a lot. He's got some great content. Go check it out. I mean, after my show, but go check it out. Okay, anyway, Al, my dream has always been to have a Brett Favre Atlanta Falcons jersey, so hint, hint, let's make it happen. All right, back to this guy's career. After his rookie season, Green Bay traded a first-round pick, something I don't think they've done since, for the backup, but at least this one would pay off. Favre played 16 seasons with the Packers. He led his team to 2 Super Bowls, winning Super Bowl 31, and became the first NFL player to win 3 straight MVP awards. After starting the 92 season as a backup for Green Bay, Favre would get his first NFL start in Week 4, which would begin the longest consecutive start streak in NFL history. Yes, Brett would end his career starting every game from September 20th, 1992 to January 20th, 2008. That is 297 regular season games. That's right, that's not even counting playoffs. It's incredible. Favre had one of his best seasons in 2009 after signing with the Minnesota Vikings. He recorded 4,000 passing yards and threw 33 touchdowns against just 7 interceptions, guiding the Vikings to a 12-4 record and a spot in the NFC Championship game. Now, that interception ratio is pretty impressive, seeing as how Brett still holds the record for most passes intercepted. Whoops. Brett Favre retired in 2011 with records in passing yards with 71,838 and in touchdowns with 508, which both have since been surpassed. Stupid Tom Brady, am I right? Yes. In 2015, Brett Favre was inducted into the Packers Hall of Fame on a rainy Thanksgiving night in Lambeau Field, a game which I was at. It was my very first and so far only Packers game at Lambeau Field. It was absolutely incredible. The next year, my guy was inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame, which was a tearjerker for sure. All right, people, I don't know how you expect me to top those numbers. That is an incredible career. We do have one more candidate to go, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But another incredible number 4 is, of course, Yankees first baseman Lou Gehrig. Now, speaking of amazing consecutive streaks, Lou played for the Yankees from July 15th, 1923 to April 30th, 1939, a whopping 2,130 consecutive games. Now that streak was unbroken for 56 years, until a guy named Cal Ripken Jr. came along. Maybe you've heard of him. Anyway, Lou's career numbers are already impressive, and I'm sure they would be even crazier if he was not forced to end his career at the age of 36. But in his 17-year career, the big lefty won 6 world championships, 2 MVPs, and a Triple Crown. Now, this is a guy who played alongside the likes of Babe Ruth, who was part of Murderers Row lineup, and he still made a huge impact on a dominating group of ball players. Now, in his career, he held the record for the most Grand Slams with 23. That stuck until 2013 when Alex Rodriguez hit his 24th Grand Slam. He ended up finishing his career with 25 overall and still holds that record. Now, one more incredible fact about the Iron Horse is that he was the first ever baseball player, he was the first ever player to have his number retired. That's pretty freaking epic. Love that. Well, there you have it. Those are the top 3 players to ever wear the number 4. Okay, but on this show, we don't just tell you the stats and send you on your merry way. No, I will decide who wore it best. We need some judgment, okay? Look, I didn't want to start off this show with some easy gimme, so this one took me a minute to filter through. I gotta say, especially because of Favre, okay? But the player who wore the number 4 best. Drum roll, please. This is the drum roll. Of course, it's gotta be Lou Gehrig, the Iron Horse. All right, in his 17-year career, Gehrig batted .340. That's his entire career. 2,721 hits and racked up 493 home runs. Look, the guy was a 7-time All-Star, and do I have to say it? 6 world championships. And plus, I mean, he was the first ever baseball player to be on a Wheaties box, for crying out loud. All right, there you have it. Lou Gehrig for the win. Alrighty, folks, make sure that you go ahead, like and comment, like this content, turn on the notifications, and of course, subscribe to Titan TV for more Who Wore It Best Jersey Royale. And hey, if there's a number that you want to see battle it out, make sure you leave me a note in the comments. All right, see y'all next week for another Jersey Royale.